already
Oh, sorry, you're what?
I want you to know I'm already 2 Tito's and lemonade into this. So
Good for you.
it's running a little late here.
So my internet is out at the house, so I'm hotspotting through my computer right now. And I've got terrible cellular reception. So if you guys are okay, I am going to hand over management to Jason. Shop manager Jason can be meeting manager Jason, and you guys can hang out. And I'm gonna need to tap out, unfortunately.
Okay.
So let me see. I'm gonna try and figure this out. Hold on.
Did you pull the plug out of the router?
I don't know what's going on. There's Xfinity people out on the. All right, I'm gonna do it. You guys have an awesome meeting. I'm sorry I couldn't hang around.
So I guess I'm in charge, huh?
You're the guy.
See if we get some more people showing up here or not.
Sure.
Hey Frank, we tried your silicone with the wire test into the thing today. We put a video. Bob should be putting it out here shortly.
I don't think he's fully connected, Jason.
I don't think so. Can you hear me, Frank? Hey, Frank, can you hear me?
You got to unmute, Frank.
There we go.
There it is. Hey, we put a video out today. Bob got inspiration from your DiveTribe last week with the silicone test, running the wires through a end of a bulkhead. So we put a little inspirational dedicated to you for it. I think Bob's going to put it out here in the next few days. Well, he's on vacation, so it might not be till early next week, but got a little dedication out to you, showing you how to run wires through a bulkhead.
Oh, good.
Using your silicone test, your silicone method.
Yeah, I just did this other one too, but I don't know. I just joined. I don't know if I missed anything. I heard Dave's is not feeling well. Dave
He's in the hospital. He has kidney stones.
Oh, jeez.
So
this
we were going to have.
pass.
Yeah, we were going to have him come down to the shop for a couple of weeks, help with some molding processes and whatnots. But apparently, doctors are saying that it's probably going to be around June-ish before he's able to travel anywhere.
Wow.
So I don't even think he's going. I don't think he's going to Groton or anything.
Oh well, that's. I've never had it, but I heard it's just like a woman having labor. Yeah.
It's hair. I haven't had it either, but I've had people I've known that they said it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst pains they've ever had.
I showed you my my regular that method with the silicone going through a bulkhead, but my favorite one, but it's a lot more work, is I take a 1032 screw, turn down the end so that the tube will go on the air filter tube, or it's silicone tube, and slip the wire through it. It's got a 16th inch hole in it, and then the nut on it, and then I thread the plastic box itself with a 1032. I screw this in, and then put a nut on the other end with a grommet. And let's see if I get it here. And that's what it looks like.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice.
And the wire passes through that. And then I have the silicone tubing, bridging the gap. But the easiest way is the way I said. You just drill a hole smaller than the silicone tube and Sometimes I have to soap it up, push it through, and then once it dries, it's really hard to move out.
Yeah, we put a little bit of silicone oil on it, and we had a problem with I think we were using maybe an inch and a half piece of silicone, and the silicone oil kept sliding it in and out, so we had to fight it back and forth.
Yeah.
But we finally got it. But yeah.
Not to be gross, most of the time I spit on it.
Yeah, hey, whatever works.
It works.
Yeah, we're doing some testing now. We did that one. You guys seen the Batmobile that we've got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're making fire. We practiced with fire today. Doing we had like a little hose with like a mister, like would spray butane or alcohol or whatever, trying to get like a nice fireball. And we found that you take a butane can, put a rubber hose on it or silicone hose on it, tip it upside down, light it while it's going, and it shoots a flame about 6 feet out.
Oh man.
So we did a video on that today where I'm waiting for him to put that up there. So
and they worry about torpedoes jumping out of the water.
Yeah, well, like you said, we're doing some sketchy shit on Fridays. So
Sketchy shit Friday. That should be every week. That's what you got.
Yeah, we're gonna spend an hour a week just doing some sketchy shit and see if we can get some entertainment out of everybody.
That's it. I'm sending for my Estes rockets.
OSHA approved, we promise.
Frank, you were talking about, I watched the video. There's a problem watching these videos that Bob posts up of the DiveTribe. I keep trying to comment. I keep trying to unmute and comment while I'm watching the video, and I'm shit, that's not going to work.
Yeah,
So, but these little boxes that you have that you fill with grease and you make your connections for the servos.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have. I didn't see it, but did you ever think of putting a Zerk fitting on it? And so you can pump it full of grease.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, just screw it in. Little 16th inch pipe thread.
I tried to do some with some. You ever see those hoses that when you turn them on, they grow? They got canvas on the outside. On the inside, there's silicone tubing. So I made a plug for each end, and the servo connector fits right in there. And the plug had like 3 lobes on it so that it would go around the servo wire on each end. The servo wire would nest in it. And then when I pushed it in that tube, it was great. It was a nice seal, and I put some grease in there, and it was like, that was another way I did it. I don't know if you can see this here. I got so much shit laying all over. My refrigerator crapped out last night, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Not cool. That's the trouble.
It's the motherboard, Frank.
No, I think it's the thermostat because I smack it and it worked.
Oh.
Sounds like my old TV.
You see the plug with the 3 little holes in it?
A little close. Pull it back a little, Frank. There you go.
That's like a servo wire opening in there that I made. So when I mold this tube, it's got that orifice that I guess I don't know how to say it. There's a hole in the shape of the servo wire, and I slit one end, and when I put it in that tube that's inside that hose, it holds it nice and shut, and it works great. But I was trying to mass produce them. It's a little tedious, but it works good. So that was another method.
Hey Frank, you got to pop the little pins out individually and then put them back on, or do you shove the whole thing through there, or what?
No, what I did was I took some brass tubing. Where are we? Here we are. And I soldered them together. And I have two sizes of servo wire. So I made one for one size and another one the other size. And I put this in the middle of the mold. And when I pour the silicone rubber around it, after it cured, I just pulled this out and the holes were there. So then I just, like a bologna, slice off a 1/4 of an inch piece of that tubing, that silicone with the holes in it, and that was my end plugs.
So you just drill a hole for the size of the outer diameter and pop it right into your bulkhead.
No, this is just for where you make a joint with the servo wires.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I mean, everybody says greasing it is okay, but I don't know. I feel leery about that.
Let me tell you what I found on my fleet boat a few years back. If you try to connect the servo wires in their respective proximity to each other, a little bit of water, power goes directly to the signal wire. They're too close. Just run the signal wires. This is what I find. You run the white signal wire all by itself, and then you just pick up your positive and negative anywhere you can get power from the.
That's what that's the way the Seaview is.
Yeah.
They're all ganged together. All I have is just signal wires going every place. That's all.
That's it. That's it. And the signal wire can actually be wet because it's a long distance to get to the
I see.
ground or the positive. That's the problem, is that they're too close together to one another.
All right.
That made me crazy trying to figure out why my ESC wouldn't react, and it was because of the water touching the pins. But
I got them all ganged together, the pluses and the minuses.
Yep.
And then, that's it. Just the signal wire runs around.
And wherever I can, I try to get that signal wire in a piece of Tygon tubing so that I run it dry. I try to run it as dry as possible.
Yeah.
But I'm working on a surface. I'm working on a target for you guys. I'm coming along. I don't know if you follow an RCG or not, but I'm building a center console regulator, 34 foot, 1/12 scale. And I'm going to use 3 dummy outboards with, what do you call it? Harbor Models makes these little guys. And they run actually off a shaft out of the hull, but it looks like an outdrive. So what I'm planning on doing is I'm going to make a fiberglass shell, and I'm going to stuff these up into the fiberglass shell, so that now I have 3 Yamaha outboards. I'll let you know how it works out. It's uncharted territory.
There you go. Yeah, like we were saying earlier, or I was saying earlier, we're testing the flame. We're trying to figure out if butane or diesel. I mean, we tried a couple tests. We were shooting denatured alcohol through a pump, lit it, but you can't see it.
You can't see it in sunlight.
It burns clear. So we're gonna try again next week. We're gonna throw either some diesel fuel or 2-cycle, or
Can I throw 2 cents in? I'll throw my 2 cents in. Those little bottles, the little cans of WD-40.
Okay.
It's kerosene. It burns great. It's pressurized. Might be something you could utilize.
Yeah. Well, we've got our little Vietnam boat that we acquired, the Zippo, and it has dual flamethrowers that it burned the bad guys on either side of the river.
All right.
So we're trying to figure out a stream of flame that comes out, not just like a fireball.
Right.
We're trying to go stream. So we're trying different techniques. We tried it with a pump, one of our little water pumps that we did. Just basically stuck it one end in the tank of alcohol and lit the other end, and it fired. But like I said, it's alcohol,
Hard
you
to
can't
say.
see it. So we're trying to figure out different ways. Like one we're doing with the Batmobile, we're going to use butane for that, which, like I said, it shot a fireball 6 feet out the back end of it. But we're trying to get the stream. But some of the techniques that we tried today were so overpressured that the hose, when it went through onto the brass tubing, would try to spray out where the connection was, and you don't want gas or liquid coming out
Sure.
with the flame this close away and burning your boat down or burning the shop down or whatever. So we're trying different techniques of trying to get that single little spray of fire coming out of a boat that's, I don't know, 3 foot long without burning the shop or the boat down. But we want to be able to see it, so hopefully
www.napalm.com.
Yeah, gasoline and orange juice concentrate.
There you go.
But yeah, we're trying to figure out the best way to do it without blowing ourselves up or burning everything down.
Getting kicked out of the pond forever.
Yeah, sketchy shit we do on Fridays. So
Are there a lot of people on the DiveTribe today? It sounds quiet.
It's an odd
I got
time.
5. I got 5 in here right now. Must not have seen the. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jason, it's John. Mate, I've got a question about painting and about painting. I've got a 96 scale Seawolf I'm doing up at the moment. It's a Mat 4 model that I've had for a lot of time. All of the little die cast bollards and all those little fittings that come with it, when I glue them onto the hull, what color do I paint those? Are they all just black, the same as the hull, or do they all paint it up as metal?
I'm pretty sure the decking stuff is all usually like a chalked black for the decking, and then a flat for the rest of it. I'm not a paint guy, but I'm pretty sure that when they put them all down, everything of that where they were on the decking all matched. They weren't like chrome or brass or anything like that. I'm pretty sure they were all just sprayed the exact same as whatever the rest of the decking color is.
Right. Okay, Ta. Where is everybody?
They must not have got the memo. Hey, Frank, what you got working on?
I'm trying to get one of those little servo connection waterproofer thingies that I was trying to explain to you. I'm almost done. I have one more to put in, and then I'll show you what I was talking about. What am I working on? Oh, I was glad Bob said something about a target, because I just got the missiles. I'm working on the missile doors working, and then the missiles are ready for firing. The torpedoes work. So now I told Maury, and I was jesting, of course, that I'm putting an electronic shock through the hull as a deterrent for people touching. The Seaview had that. So I figured it'd be great for those people that like to touch the models. you know, I'm not really doing it, but
Give him a little zappy zap or what?
that's all. You know, not really, but I was goofing on Maury. So anyway, let's see if I can get this through there. I am so bad with this thing. Here we go. So just imagine a servo connection inside there. That's that silicone tubing that's from inside those hoses. And then I casted these little plugs with the 3 little voids in it, the size of the servo wire. And you slice them so that you can wrap it around the servo wire. And then when you put it into the silicone tube, it squeezes it shut and no water gets in there at all. It works really well. And it's cheap. You know, the blue ends are the casting silicone. So instead of making a mold out of it, I'm actually making a part out of it. So.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
we'll have to try that out.
Yeah. So it works pretty well. So this would be on something that you don't normally disconnect and, you know, take away. You just put it in there. And the only time you disconnect it and pull this apart would be if something went wrong with the servo or something. So these are all over the C-View. And those other black box things that I used later on. But
so instead of using like a waterproof servo, you could run it dry, run that out the back of it, plug something in there.
No, I'd rather use a waterproof servo. It's just to make the connections less. But you know, Bob came up, you know, with what I do also is just put all the positives together, all the negatives together, and just run your signal wire to everything. And that's the only thing you have to worry about, you know, sealing.
Okay, gotcha.
But time will tell. Like I tried to explain the last time. This is my first submarine, and I've been working on it for 4 years now. But the stuff that I did when I first started is not what I'm ending up with, because you learn along the way. And like Ed said once, it's just a big experiment, and you find something better and you change it out, or you realize something that you did is really inefficient or not going to work. So you change it out. And I have a box of all my stuff that has changed, you know, and I'm saving it just to remind myself.
Yeah, that's us at the shop every week. 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Yep. And that's how you learn, I guess. Right now, I'm trying to program this M-Tronics micro switcher, and it's driving me nuts, but I'll get it. It's one of those things where you can, with one channel, you can control like 2 servos, but I'm not having any luck.
Yeah, we've been fighting with ours here lately too.
He had that HP switcher that used to work nice, but he doesn't. I don't know if he carries that anymore.
We still have them.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a bad batch. I don't know, about 6 months ago or so, and Bob actually had to get a hold of M-Tronics, and he's like, you know, what's going on? Why are these ESCs and switchers and whatnot's, you know, crapping out on us? Apparently they had a bad batch that the QC didn't realize had gone out, and they're like, we apologize, and then sent us a new set of a newer, I don't know, technology or whatever you want to call it. And we haven't had as many issues, but it's hit and miss anymore with some of these M-Tronic things. I mean, they'll work great one day, and the next day they're, you know, giving us a headache.
I'm getting a headache now. Trying to get it to work. The first time I bought 2 of them, and I'm trying the second one just to make sure that it's not the first one that's bad and just making me crazy. And I'll know in about another hour or so, but I've had enough for one day.
So I don't know if anybody had seen our last update video about Subfest. Bob's got the hotel rooms blocked off. We were just waiting on the code for the discount. So pretty much I don't remember how many rooms it is, 20, 30 rooms or something. So we're going to get a discount on Subfest this year for our rooms, a Hampton or Holiday Inn or whatever it is. So as soon as he gets back with the code, if you guys are going, you can get that code in. You can save some money on your hotel room for the week.
Hey, Jace, can I share a screen here?
Absolutely.
I'm not quite sure how to do this. Host disabled participant. No, someone's got to allow me to.
Let's see if I can do it here. All right, how about that?
Yep, got it. So I'm one of the boats I'm building is a 172 scale Typhoon, and
Ooh,
I'm doing
nice.
the hull. I'm doing the hull as a like I've printed it, and I'm flopping a mold off it, and then I'm going to do a glass hull. But then I'm going to cut out all of the really fine detail stuff and glue in from behind or from inside high resolution 3D printed items, you know, like the bow planes that are here on the screen, and well, everything's the fine detail. But this is the bow planes at the moment, and so this area here goes in the boat. This area here is the outside of the hull and the bow planes. And so when I hit play, so the doors open separately on each side. Bow planes retract separately on each side. And then the door closes up behind them.
Beautiful. Nice. Love it.
And then obviously they come out, you know, in the opposite direction. So everything is like here, there's 6 servos controlling it, and there's everything is independent of each other and just run on it as a timed program to run it. So just thought that people might like to see that.
Oh, absolutely. We just got I think it's what is it? 1/44th scale Typhoon that we're gonna be working on here shortly. That we're trying to get a good mechanism to get those planes in and out.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Wait a second. So I'm like 6 foot, and this is only half the hull.
Oh, geez.
Whew. That's a big boat.
It's going to be very cool.
Yeah, I think our 1/44th is 5 foot, 4.5, 5 foot, something like that. It's massive.
I
and
think
we got to do all the undertaking of it yet.
I think the end up size of it is 2.4 meters, whatever that is in feet. Must be about 8 or 9 feet or something like that. So, and there's there are. Whoops, that way.
That's a big.
I designed these in Fusion, and they're my 3D printed props for it. So they are about. They're almost 100
size
mil.
of a baseball.
Like, yeah, they're almost 4 inches across in diameter.
Wow. That's going to be a beauty when it's done.
Yeah, I just couldn't find props big enough or the right design with the small little where were you? Small little cross in the back tail here.
Nice. Yeah.
So I just went, oh, I'll just have to do it myself. So
Well, just to let you know that's Bob's favorite boat. So once that's done, he's going to need pictures of it. He loves the Typhoon. That's his favorite boat.
I'm thinking about printing these in castable resin. So then you print them up and then you can make a mold, melt out the resin, and then just pour the brass in behind. So you make proper brass ones at full size. So it's a bit more work, but
we've done that with molding and used Kevlar to help with the stability for them.
Yep.
But yeah, that's his favorite boat.
Yeah, so I've got vacuum pumps and stuff from when I'm doing my glassing. And if I make a mold out of porous plaster, I can put it all under full vacuum. So when you pour in the top, it'll suck the metal right out to the extent of all of the channels of the props.
Yep.
So I'm hoping that will all work if I go that far. But
yeah, we actually used a centrifuge machine that we redesigned for metal casting. We'd pour white metal into a centrifuge mold, and it would spray all the hot metal out that we were using there for a while.
33 and a third.
Spin casting.
Basically spin casting with hot metal. Yeah.
33 and a third RPM record player, repurposed. Yeah.
Yep.
They have some metal that melts at a very low temperature too now. Some of that, I think it melts at like 125 degrees Fahrenheit. It's very, very low temperature. Very
I think we use like some kind of a neti pot warming thing or something. I was just basically white metal and just spun it, pour it, mist, spray metal everywhere.
Oh, no.
You know, like I said, I got to do some sketchy shit at work every once in a while.
AC/DC music blasting in the background.
Pretty much, yeah. Who doesn't want to come to the shop and play? All right, y'all talk amongst yourself for a minute. I need a refill. I will be back in 2 seconds.
There you go. Hey, Frank.
Yes.
Here's that target I was talking about.
Oh, geez. I need bigger torpedoes. Nice.
This is made, I was talking to Bob about this. This is made out of 3/4 inch construction foam. And I do the frames on a piece on a building aluminum flashing. I photocopy the frames, I shrink them to the size I need or expand them to what I need. Then I spray glue them to the aluminum flashing. I cut it out with a pair of shears, and then I glue it to the foam, and it gives me my shape. And then I just do a body putty job. It's
nice.
Regular Bondo, and I'm gonna make a mold out of and it'll work for sub too. I want to make a mold out of, I want to use Ultra Cal. Ultra Cal is pretty cool stuff.
Right.
And then I'll just make the hull out of glass.
Yeah, that's the way. This one guy that I worked with in Grumman, he used to get all the stations and make them out of aluminum. He'd stand them up, with a rib with the, the center, put the center on, and then he'd take Ultra Cal and he'd squeegee it over the forms, and then by the time he was done, it was like polished.
Yes. Yes.
And that's what they used to make the molds.
Yep.
And they came out beautiful.
The beauty about using the construction foam and the aluminum is once I have it all stacked together, I take a hot wire cutter and I just follow the aluminum around.
Right.
And it's an instant hole. It's so easy.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good idea.
But I'm going to make it in 2 halves. There he is.
I'm back.
Why are you going to make it in 2 halves?
An ultra cal mold is extremely heavy.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they tell you you're not supposed to be using resin and glass in the plaster molds, because the plaster mold doesn't give. So you might have trouble getting it out. So I'm just going to make a right and left hand cast of the hull, and then I'll just glue it down the keel.
Yeah. A little trick we used to do when it used to get stuck in the mold is get an air hose and just put it,
Pop it
on
right
the
out.
edge. It pops right out.
Yeah, well,
Yep.
that's if what are you using for a mold? That's if you use a fiberglass mold. It's this ultra cal does not.
It does.
It's a rock. It's like molding in casting in granite. It's
Yeah,
amazing how hard this stuff is. So yeah, a little anything, and you're gonna have to destroy the mold to get it out. So I'm just gonna make it in 2 halves.
Yeah, yeah. Just get a piece of mahogany and make one for the wall.
But
Yeah.
it's a fiberglass boat. So I'll just make a fiberglass one for the wall.
Yeah. No, not the ultra cal. The fiberglass. You cast half of it. Just put it up as a like a picture.
Exactly. A half model. That's a $425,000 boat.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. 34 foot.
Jeez.
The engines are $120,000 just for the 3 engines alone. At least that was 2 years ago when I started this project. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, I told you my refrigerator was giving me trouble last night. So when I thought it was only 5 or 6 years old. So when I called up PC Richards to try and get the model number, because they put it on a label on the inside, and from washing, it washed it away. You didn't know the model number. Usually they put it on a stamped plate, but they didn't do it. So they gave me the number, and when I bought it, it was $1,000, and I thought it was 5, 6 years ago. Come to find out, it was 13 years ago, and now it's $4,000 for the same.
Sounds about right.
Yep, amazing.
Good
That was
old
my
inflation
first
for
car.
you.
My first new car was $4,000.
My first brand new car was a Camaro, $3,200, sticker price.
Yeah.
The good old days.
And it's
Is anybody working on anything new or anything, or what? What we got going on?
just
Got any updates?
basically getting ready for Groton.
You got your torpedo system all set up and ready to go, and everything going good?
Yeah, that's all done. Like I said, I'm trying to finalize the missiles. They fire nice. I just got to get the doors to work nice. So I don't want to go, and I'm up to 16 channels, and I don't want to go more. I'm trying to squeeze it into those 16 channels.
I thought we had a hard time with our 12-foot Gato or the Baleo that we got with 12 channels.
Man.
Yeah.
Every time you add one, you get more and more things go wrong.
Well, what screwed me up, set me back, was the Freon. It just wrecked some of the seals. So I'm trying to switch over to CO2, and it seems to be working out really, really well. I get one of those.
CO2 doesn't have any oil in it.
Right. But the apparently the oil, and when I bought the Freon, I specified no oil, but apparently there's something in it, and it just all kinds of problems.
Turned everything green, didn't it?
Yeah, there was a green snot in it, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Same thing we had our problem with too.
And what happens is I have restrictors on the airline so that everything opens scale like, it doesn't just snap open. And that plugged up all those. I mean, those are little frog hair holes in there,
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
We've had ballast tanks that we tried with that, and it turned the entire tank inside the ballast tank green with
yeah.
like this snotty, slimy, nasty shit that it's impossible to get rid of.
Yep. So I'm just I'm trying and I used to use the Badger stuff, which was really good, but it's $38 a can now, and the tester stuff just doesn't work. It's not enough pressure, and it sucks. The Badger stuff was in the 13-ounce can was the best, and but the CO2 works good, and I'm going to try that. They have 25-gram little canisters, so I'm going to order them and see how they work out. And the nice thing is you just set the regulator, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever you want.
Yeah. Yep. Well, not a big turnout today, huh?
No,
Wow.
no. So obviously we're going to lose Dave to Groton.
More than likely, the
Yeah.
last update I heard is, he's out until June for travel issues. So more than likely, he's probably on the side bench for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think Ed is coming either.
I haven't heard anything from Ed, so I'm not sure about that. Bob's hit and miss. He's like back and forth whether he's coming or not.
Yeah.
He wants to, but honestly, he really wants to because he wants to see your sea view. So he wants to see that thing in the water, but he's hit and miss right now.
Me too. Actually, my plans are within the next couple of weeks, I want to get it in the trim tank and retrim it because I moved stuff around. And then a week or two after that, which I really don't have that much time, my daughter just got a pool and then give it its first run in the pool to see if anything goes berserk. And then Groton would be its maiden voyage in the ocean.
Well, I would definitely suggest if even a little snippet, with it in the pool. I'm sure Bob would love it. If he can't make it to Groton, he would love to see it because he's been talking about it, wanting to see it in the water. So
yeah,
especially with the torpedoes and everything going off.
Yep.
Frank, is your daughter putting in a salt pool?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I know. I may skip that. I can
easy maintained, but not easy on the subs.
Well, do you think it'd give me problems even though I rinse the whole thing off, or it's just a problem?
Well, I think you might. Oh, go ahead.
I think it's a frequency thing, isn't it? It's once it's under the water, the salt water doesn't react to the frequencies don't react very well under salt water.
Yeah, but it's 2.4.
Oh, 2.4, then you have nothing to worry about then.
Yeah, I just worry about the salt if it's the same thing on the metal parts and stuff like that. There's not that much metal. I mean, most of the stuff I use is stainless steel. All the screws are stainless, and then there's a little bit of brass, but everything's painted. So, and once I get it home, I'd rinse the shit out of it.
Yeah, you should be fine. I mean, if you have anything, a little silicone grease on any connections or whatever, but
yeah.
I wish I could give you guys some updates of what's going on the home front, but really I haven't really been doing much except for customer stuff. So
I saw one of Bob's things on that Australian submarine. That was really nice.
The Collins.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a beautiful boat. We first thing threw it in the water, took off. I had a little bit of a torque roll on it, but that was a beautiful boat. Had a nice silhouette, great wake behind it. It handled very, very nicely.
Was that a scratch built or is that something that's you can purchase?
No, we're selling the 3D files that can be 3D printed if you want.
Yeah.
This one actually came from Australia, I think. And when we got it, it was all smashed to hell. The bow was all cracked in like 15 different places. We had to patch, and I had to fiberglass the entire inside of the whole. It was a completely 3D printed model boat. But when we got it, it was just all smashed to hell. And we had to re-glue it, re-fiberglass it, repaint it, sand, paint, fill. But I believe we are selling the files to be able to 3D print your own if need be. But this thing, I mean, it was beautiful. I mean, it's probably what was it, 60-inch long.
Yeah.
You know, it had a beautiful tower on it.
What's that rod that sticks out the back?
It's a what the hell did he say? It was an antenna.
It's for the towed array.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And hopefully the new owner doesn't decide to pick it up by that and pop because that'll snap off first thing. But yeah, I mean, the person that built it, I don't know who built it, but the person that built it, like all the tiles and everything were scribed by hand.
Yeah, I saw that.
It had the sonars on the sides. I mean, it was a beautiful boat.
Do you know what it was printed out of?
PLA, I think. I'm not 100%. Like the inside, it was like you could tell it's 3D printed. It had all the striations and everything, but the outside they had sanded it so beautifully that you would think it was fiberglass and glass. It was so smooth and like glass finish on the outside of it. And then to have all those analytic tiles and everything scribed into it and the sonars and everything, you would never even know looking at it. It was a 3D printed model.
When you glass a 3D printed model, does the glass stick to it well?
Yeah. Yep. You gotta sand the hell out of it, you know. But yeah, because we're doing the Lotus Bond car that's a 3D printed that we're going to make a glass model and start selling kits for. And we've got a sand fill, paint, you know, over and over and over again to get that glass finish over the base coat. And then we're going to cover the entire thing in resin and make a mold out of it so we can start selling the kits for the Lotus car. And it's going to be, it's a substantial, I mean, this thing's probably 30-inch. I mean, it's a good size. You know, it's bigger than the Flying Sub is probably what, 2 foot around or so. This thing is probably closer to 2.5 foot. So have 4 appendages or props on the back, you know, I'm sure full lights and all the good stuff on there too. So stay in touch for that information.
You know what scale the Collins class was built at?
What was it? 154th scale, I think, or 154th or 152nd, something like that. I think 54th.
Okay.
It was a good size boat. I think it was 60-inch, something like that.
With the holes in
And
the
did that
front.
have one?
What's that?
With the holes in the front torpedo tubes?
Yes. Yeah, I think
That
there
had
was
one
5
of
or
your dive modules in
it had a what was it? 4.5-inch OTW in it, I believe.
Okay.
We had to update a couple electronics to it, and I think we put a pitch controller. We were talking about putting a dual pitch controller because it was an X-tail. So we're going to do dual pitch. But the new owner, he's like, just send it the way it is. I love it the way it is. I'll take it with the one in it, and I'll go from there. If I want to add it later, I will. But I think we talked about it for a little bit. We think with dual pitch controllers, with the rise and yaw and the back and forth, that dual would just keep that thing perfectly. Like the Fairwater sails or the planes, we never even needed to use. It handled that well with the X-tail that we didn't even need the Fairwater planes. They're fully functional, just never even needed to use them.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting those for in the sea view. There's always that. This is a bone of contention between Ed and I. He says they're sonar domes, and I think they were dive planes that were never made work. And I think Dave said the same thing. He says, yeah, they ran out of budget, so they never really did it. But mine work, because everybody told me that the faster this sub goes, the more it wants to dive. So my thought was just give it a little up dive plane, and that would counteract that. But I think it's a good thing to hook one of those leveling things and keep my sub just level. So even though I don't think it's going to be a problem because of the length, but
we sell auto levelers.
Yeah, I think I have one from you.
Yeah, we're really excited about our new 212s and the flying sub conversion kits, because they're be coming out here shortly. If anybody of you guys have ordered any of them, I think you guys are going to be really surprised. We're about halfway through our instruction video on the 212 right now. But it's basically, oh, okay, we do this, oh, wait a minute, this is a better way. Let's do it, 2 steps forward, 2 step back type of thing again. So the editing of this video is going to be a hell of a process for Bob, unfortunately. But you guys are going to, once that video is out, you guys see it, I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of people, you guys are going to want one. It's a beautiful little boat, and this thing handles so well, turns on a dime. It's absolutely amazing.
What do you guys know about carrying LiPo batteries on board an airliner?
They don't like it.
I know, but people do it. Somehow there's some way of getting them on board, getting them approved. But I'd like to know.
In Australia, you're allowed to take them on in your checked luggage.
Yes.
You're not allowed to take them on as carry-on. They have to go on as checked luggage.
I could see that. That would be good. I just hate to show up at the airport and be told, no, you can't take your batteries with you. And when you get to where you're going, what do you do?
Yeah, we are almost prohibited on shipping lipos to anything overseas that flies on a plane.
Yeah.
Because of the explosion or the flame factor. So anybody that buys a boat that's fully equipped right now, Australia, UK, Germany, wherever, you pretty much have to outsource your battery yourself because we're not allowed to fly them. They just do not like it whatsoever.
Hmm. My little Atlantis is only 33 inches. I could almost get that in the overhead compartment, but if I can't carry the batteries, it's not worth it. It's the reason I built it was to be able to throw it on a plane and go to Texas or go to Ohio, Carmel or some, but it's not looking too good.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem with lipos. We're going right now. I think we're trying to find more. What is it? Nickel metal hydride battery packs. Build your own out of C-cell battery type of things.
Yeah.
Things like that. That we're doing a Aerothus right now. That we're trying to find a way to bring 12 volts power to it. And the only thing it has, I think it's from bulkhead to bulkhead, I think it's 8-inch, and then it has like 15-inch on the other side. But we're trying to get 12 volts, but we can only do it within so much room. So right now, I think we're doing in series 4 C-cell and 6 C-cell to get that 12 volts to run the series into a single, but it's complicated because we're trying to find heat shrink that can fit double C cells, and it's an issue trying to get the voltage and amperage and everything into this boat when you only have a little amount of, because it's the keel of the boat is about 2 inches thick, solid fiberglass, and it comes down into almost a T and then a little bit of a L. So we have maybe, I don't know, 1.5 inches clearance for the cylinder sits into to try to fit as much power as we can, as much weight as we can. So we're scratching our heads trying to figure out how to get lead and battery power without killing ourselves with distance and clearance for the cylinder. So we're trying to stay away from lipos, and we can't put a sealed lead acid in there because there's absolutely no room. So we're trying to go with making our own, hydrides.
Well, guys, it's been fun, but it's 10 o'clock here in the morning, so I've got to go to work.
Have a good one.
Have a good day.
Where are you?
Australia.
Oh, geez.
So the 6 o'clock ones for you guys is like mid-morning for me. And I have to take half a day off to do it. So
you're probably the first person.
Well, we're glad you joined us there.
Righto. See you guys.
Take care.
Cheers.
Nice chatting with you.
So, well, actually, unless anybody else has anything else to continue, it's getting about that time.
Yeah.
Okay, gents, I'm gonna bail.
Take care,
Take it
Bob.
easy, Bob.
Here.
All right. I'm gonna let you all go. Y'all have a good night, and we'll see you next time.
Take care. Enjoy the holiday.
You too. Bye.
Bye bye.